Welcome back, Wibbiters!
All
We're
right.
continuing on with our Java Crash Course series. So, Bryan has another idea for us.
All right, so now we're going to jump into methods.
Methods,
A method is just like a function in C++.
but
So-
for Java.
Right, so a method is just something that we're going to call to do an operation and return a value.
Super!
Okay, so let's do this.
New project. Next. We're experts now. What are we going to call this one?
So we're just going to do a little factorial deal, so let's call it factorial.
Like this?
Yep.
Or should I just make it an exclamation point?
Yeah.
Math joke. Sometimes I amaze myself with how funny I am.
Okay, so first, instead of jumping straight into the main function, let's declare another method after that. So just after the main function, there you go.
Separators?
Yeah. Oh, you can't have a space in the beginning.
Oh, didn't see that.
Oh, okay. So let's do this by saying long space. Now long is the type we're using. Factorial. Actually, let's just call it fact since the main package is called factorial.
All right.
Parenthesis, long, and we'll just say n.
And factorial.
Now we'll bracket it off.
And then watch.
Fills it
Ah!
out. All right. Okay, so let's do...
I'm going to take this down just because this is the way I like to write functions.
methods. The way you like to write
well,
same thing. Okay, so let's do an integer I. Let's define that. Semicolon. All right, now in the next line, let's say...
now, is there a reason why this is coming up red? Missing return statement.
yeah,
Okay.
so we just haven't written the return statement yet.
Okay, so that is kind of cool. If you see like these red things like spelling mistake, put your mouse over it and let it sit there for a second, and it tells you why. Why there's an error.
Very nice.
Very, very, very well thought out program.
Yeah.
All right, continue, please.
Okay, so on the next line, let's say long space result. So we're defining a variable called result, and that's going to be equal to 1, semicolon. All right, so now let's do a for loop. So for I equals 1, I is less than or equal to n, increment by 1. Okay, let's bracket that off.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and result times equals 1. I mean I'm sorry. I'm saying 1. Okay, so times equals is just another way of saying result equals result times I. Okay, so that's what's in our for loop. So after the for loop, let's return this. So we're just going to return result. Okay, now in our main program,
Which is right here.
yep, clear out that little to-do.
Yeah.
Okay, so in our main program, we want to run through this function a bunch of times. So let's start out by defining an integer n, semicolon. All right. Okay, so now that we've declared int n, let's also declare int I. And now let's declare a long type called result.
Okay.
Now let's do a for loop, and we'll just run up to 10, since we're not actually passing an argument. So int I equals 1, while I is less than or equal to 10, and we'll increment by 1. Okay, so now let's bracket that off. Now we're going to do a result is equal to factorial fact I, I'm sorry. On the next line, we're going to do a system out print line result. And a semicolon.
Okay.
Alright, so let's see what this does. This should give us a factorial of 10.
Control S, F6.
It's actually going to give us a factorial of an error.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I guess I is already defined. So,
J.
we'll just take out to actually go back, put that back to I. We're just not going to declare it as an int. We're just going to say... You can leave that there. Just take out int in the for loop. So we're just going to take out that int.
Oh, yeah.
And run that.
Okay, and then what is this? It's not static content.
Oh, let's okay, so this is giving us an error because the method that we defined, we didn't define as being static. So we're just going to add the word static before the word long. Okay.
And that goes away.
And now we're going to save that and let's give it a shot. Okie dokie. So the factorial of 10 is a big number, 3,628,800.
Let's do a more manageable number.
Like 3?
Well, yeah.
All right.
Let's do like 3, because 3 factorial is going to be 3 times 2 times 1.
Right, so it should be set 6.
Okay. Control S, F6.
Ta-da!
So here's the final.
So we have successfully written a factorial program.
And actually, if we wanted to, if we just wanted to get the factorial of 3, couldn't we then just put this outside the for loop?
Yes.
So we can just Control X. So if we were to do this,
Right.
save F6, we should just get the final result. And we have an error on here. And this is because
the result was not initialized. So we'll just set result to equal to 0 when we initially define it.
Is that what that error is? Okay.
So another thing we could do is let's also define int j.
You know what's interesting about what just happened? And the way that this IDE interpreted that was, if it goes through this loop and result does not actually end up equaling something,
be screwed.
it doesn't want it to equal garbage. So
Right.
it didn't let you make
Kind
that
of
mistake.
protects yourself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really neat. All right, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
All right, so let's define another integer called j. Actually, let's call it f. That'd be more fun.
Yeah. has a couple extra lines in it.
Okay, so let's say f equals 3.
Okay.
And let's replace 3 with f.
Right here.
That way it's a little more useful. We can just kind of say...
We can make it more dynamic.
Right.
So we could actually have that user input a number in the command line.
Right.
So
So if we save and run that, we should get a result of 6.
Control S, F6.
And there we go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are slowly moving our way up the ladder in Java. So, print the screen, code this. We apologize for the couple of mistakes here and there, but, you know, this is improvised tutorials. So, hope everybody is having a good time, and we're going to come back and...
And we're going to turn this into a recursive function.